What's going on, guys? My name is Skrash. In today's video we're gonna be talking about the side team and how to beat it. But before I start this video, I wanna comment that I'm actually out on kind of a holiday, so I'm doing some projects and I'm actually out for 2 weeks. So all these videos that I'm gonna be releasing are pre-recorded previously. So maybe if there's some news, if there's something new, it won't be accurate at it's 100%. But and maybe some of the teams that I'm using at the moment that you see this video are not the teams that I use anymore, because I am testing and testing and perfecting more the teams and everything. So, but I wanted also to upload this video on the championship so that you are able to beat all these side teams that are in the top 100. I'm gonna be talking about that too, and yeah. So basically, so that you can get more wins and a little bit more guaranteed. So that's gonna be it. So as I was saying, we're gonna be talking about how to beat side teams. So it's gonna be kind of a way to beat mirror matches. So this way, I have here, as you can see, the Shirahoshi variation, because it's a really good variation actually. The special is massive on a 36-second cooldown. He will target 2.8 healing, and she actually has a lot of RCB, so you're definitely gonna be able to use that. And she will also target all your teammates by defense up level 5, so that's actually a lot. And this unit is actually really underrated. Her defense stat is not that bad, it's kind of low but not as low as some other units. So but if you put her like completely protected in the 5th spot or something like that, then when she activates, you can actually get a full heal on all of your units, as well as giving them defense up level 5. So and it has no range, it targets all the units guaranteed. So I do think this team is actually one of the strongest teams that you can build, because a lot of the times the side team is relying on fixed damage. So a lot of the times people say, oh no, because the Rebecca and Soldier give defense down, but then no other unit is benefiting from that because the NL has already activated. And I feel that too, but I see the special of Rebecca Toy Soldier and NL more like a bruising way, and then well, the special of NL gives you defense also. So this is helping you make your team a little bit tankier. So that way you can tank a lot of damage while giving them the defense, the fixed damage and the defense down and bruising them, and healing yourself. So that way you can kill a lot of tanky teams and tank all of their damage, like quick teams and stuff like that, and also side teams. So I do think this is gonna be a video mainly about how to beat side teams with a side team. So I'm gonna talk about some other variations that you could do, but it's mainly involving kind of a side team setup. In the future, I might try to find some weird variation beating side teams and everything, because in this championship, we're already seeing that it's actually there's a lot of side teams here. If we look at the rankings, actually, you're gonna be seeing that it's full of side teams. Like here, look at this, everything is side. So it's normal to assume that I would be making a video on how to beat these kind of side teams and what is the best team to be using, like, and what team am I actually using. So I'm gonna find what variations I can find of a side team, and then I will work from there. So here the first variation that we have found is actually a rare crit Rayleigh variation, which is actually a really cool unit. And the thing is that this unit is giving no damage. The same for the rare crit Crocus, the rare crit Viola, and units like that. So we don't have a problem with that, because yeah, it buffs the defense, but we want to deal damage to them by fixed damage, and then they will get some HP, which is really nice. They are using a Kaido on the bench, which is not a bad idea. You can also use, instead of a Kaido on the bench, an 8-man team with 3 PvP limited rare goods. So I do think I prefer that because of RNG, because sometimes if you have RNG, if your Kaido dies, then you have nothing in the bench. And if you have 3 units, you have other options. But we're gonna be seeing how it goes. Like, and I gotta say, like, sometimes it's RNG with Shirahoshi, but whenever she activates and she gets you a full heal while also giving you the defense up level 5, and you look at your team and you look at the enemy team, I don't know, man, it's just such a great feeling. Like, you just see that they are completely in despair at that moment. It just, Shirahoshi is so evil, like she just destroys the enemy team. Yeah, I don't know, I see it that way, like seeing your full team full HP with a lot of defense and their team about to die with low defense, it's just so satisfying. So I don't know. As you can see here, sometimes the Shirahoshi activates the first time and without getting a lot of heal because she's not under 50%, because she has to be under 50% in order to activate the full heal. But if she's not, she will still heal by a large amount. The only thing is that she will not heal by those really high values like 6k HP or something like that. She will heal like 2.7k or something like that, which is still high, but considering the amount of HP that she can actually has the potential to heal, it's actually a lot. And sometimes the side team is actually helping you with getting that Shirahoshi under 50s, under 50%. It's not the case, unfortunately, but as you can see, their units are actually really low on HP, and my units are getting healed and by defense up level 5. So I'm getting more defense as well as the defense from Enel. So the recruit Rayleigh already is dead, and yeah, their Kaido enters. It's not completely maxed from the bench, and we can resist all this fixed damage with Shirahoshi, which is one of the things that the side team does really well, give fixed damage. But if there's a healer, it can mess everything up. So that's why I think the side team with Shirahoshi is one of the strongest one that you can build, and it's actually really hard to counter. I have been for the past days trying to counter the Shirahoshi, and I have found some variations that I'm gonna be including at the end of this video, but it's still RNG and it's still really hard. So yeah, as you guys saw, for a moment my Shirahoshi entered under the 50-second mark, sorry, under the 50% HP mark, so she was actually getting the level 21, as now it's happening, level 21 RCB up, and that is what's allowing her to heal you in such an amazing way. So their Kaido will probably activate now, and it can be quite scary, but I have an 8-man team. Even if a lot of my units die, it's no problem, so you shouldn't be really worrying about that. Just Kaido is such an amazing unit, but here, as you can see, I'm gonna get a lot of units from the bench, so it should not be a lot of problems. It was kind of bad RNG by my side that the Kaido activated just at the last moment and killed 4 of my units, but as you guys saw, I was doing pretty fine with till the Kaido activated, and yeah, also it was kind of bad RNG that he targeted absolutely all of my units, and that he targeted when the timer was under 30 seconds, so I had a lot of defense down. But yeah, so this is gonna be the first match. So we have covered kind of like the weird variations of rare recruits and stuff like that. I think that team could have fit one more unit, like it would have fit one more people with a rare recruit, but I guess it was not running the full team because it was a defense team. We're gonna be going up against this team now, the Germa 66 team, and I gotta say, and I have also tested this team, and in general it gets the win, like the Shirahoshi team against the Germa 66. And I have also tested, I'm gonna see if I can find one, the Boa team. Actually, I think that the Boa team is one of the best ones to beat. What I mean by that is just like it's one of the easiest ones to beat with this Shirahoshi, because if, for example, my units are completely maxed, my Enel is limit break plus, but my Shirahoshi is not. So my Shirahoshi is actually the units that has the lowest HP. So the Boa Hancock of the enemy team is targeting all in general my Shirahoshi for the 4k fixed damage, and that helps her get under 50%. And then if she activates the heal, that is just basically helping you heal all your units at max. So yeah, there's a lot of RNG involved with when you see a Shirahoshi and Boa match, but in general the Shirahoshi has the advantage because of that, because she has low HP. So the Boa, a lot of the times it's targeting her, but it's kind of a double-edged sword, because by one side it's helping her get under the 50% and healing all your units, and by the other side, if Boa is targeting the Shirahoshi, then a lot of the times it could be that she actually died. So yeah, here we had a lot of fixed damage. As you can see, one really good thing about the side team is that the enemy team is not using a Shirahoshi, so the HP that you see that the enemy team is missing, they will actually not get that back. Like they will, but you can actually get that back. So that is one thing that I really like about side teams. So let's see, maybe some of my unit die here with this activation. I don't think so. I think we're gonna be tanking that, and yeah. So basically, it's just a matter of my specials to get charged again. My Roger might die, and as it happened, but then I get, like, it's an 8-man team at the end of the day. I still have a lot of options, and here the Roger might activate, killing my Rebecca Toy Soldier, which is gonna be kind of unfortunate, but I will get the activation of PvP Whitebeard, and I should be pretty okay with that. Yeah, the Roger will not kill anything, and here I should get the activation of PvP Whitebeard, and I should be quite fine depending on the number of units that I actually target. And it was lucky for me because I used that defense on level 6 from the time, and now it just over with Solo Mask, but I still had the Anal, the Law, and everything like that. So yeah, pretty cool. A Germa 66 variation beaten. Also, it's true that it didn't have like the units in the bench. Sometimes it can be more scary if they have the units in the bench, the full side team. I have still beaten a lot of the Germa 66 variations with the full bench, but in this particular case, for example, in this match that we did, we had some kind of bad RNG, so I don't think we would have won if that team was full with 8 units, probably with 6 or 7, yeah, but with 8 units it's kind of hard to say. So let's see, next one. Okay, this is a Shirahoshi variation, but I've before going up against Shirahoshi variations, I wanna still go up against more normal side teams because that would be a mirror match. And yeah, one thing I wanna say against Shirahoshi variations is that you can use a Shirahoshi variation yourself, and well, it's more RNG, but it's at least 50-50. And if you have a better bench, if you position your units in a smart way, maybe they don't have the units positioned correctly, or something like that, then you can do some, you can kind of see if you can get a better chance than the enemy team, but I do not recommend going up against mirror matches, but still. So here I have found, okay, here I have found actually a Kizaru variation. Not really a good one, but we'll go up against it because, well, I want to showcase some of the side teams that are appearing, so I'm gonna be going up against this team. But as I'm saying, it's not the best team to go up against, and I would like to find a Boa variation, a B3 Boa variation, and maybe a more maxed side team. But don't worry, maybe you think I'm not showing a lot of results here. But I have a lot of screenshots and some recordings of some of these teams happening, so that's definitely a thing that you could do. And then I will explain after showcasing the Shirahoshi, because I really wanted to showcase this team with Shirahoshi. I really think that's a really good team, that it's pretty underrated, to be honest. I will explain some tactics that I have thought about, that you could do and countering some side teams, and also I will talk about some things that I have thought about doing to counter the Shirahoshi team. So let's see if we can do this match. Okay, so as you can see, yeah, they have a lot of defense right now. Oh, I didn't realize actually they had a B3, a B2 Kuzan. So it's not a bad team actually with the Kizaru and B2 Kuzan, because the Kizaru is also buffing the Rebecca Toy Soldier and the Kuzan, so actually it's better than I thought. Now my Law will actually get saved. Okay, so that's good. And let's see if I can manage. Okay, what is the unit that's missing there? Oh, it's B3 Law. Okay, so well, they don't have a B3 Law, but actually it's working on their favor. Maybe my B3 Law is for some reason really low on HP. I don't really know what happened there, and it's kind of bad luck in my case that the Kizaru is still alive with this barely HP, but at the same time my Law is still alive, so yeah, my Shirahoshi is under the 50%, so if she gets to activate, she will fully heal all my units. So let's see if that can happen. Now, don't worry though, the Kizaru is gonna die finally with the NL, and let's see what we are gonna be able to do. So yeah, the Germa 66 enters from the bench. Okay, let's see. I will activate my Roger, and let's see if we can actually get a full heal with Shirahoshi. That would be pretty cool. As I mentioned, as their enemy team has no healer, they have no hope of actually getting any of these health back. So their units are actually really low on HP. And as you can see here, look at this. Like looking at your team like that, level 12 defense fully max, and you look at the enemy team like that, I do think it's full despair for them. It's just like it's over, you know. I really like that Shirahoshi can do something like that, get a full heal and getting all your units defended while they have like the units about to die and something like that. That's what I was talking about. I'm glad that I got to showcase that. So let's see if I can find now a B3 Boa team, and let's see how it will go, if it will go in my favor, because the Shirahoshi will actually get targeted by Boa and she will get under 50% and then she will fully heal all my units, or maybe the Boa targets my Shirahoshi and then basically my Shirahoshi gets sniped, but let's see how it will work out. And then after this match, if I can find a B3 Boa, I will actually talk about some other combos that you could use and maybe also some team that you could do to counter side teams. But I'm gonna try to find a B3 Boa, but if I don't, I will be right back. So I have managed to find a B3 Boa here. Let's see how it will work out for us. As I said, it's kind of 50-50 chance, like, but sometimes when that happens, when the Boa gets on your Shirahoshi under 50%, then that you feel really good if the Shirahoshi is about to activate, but that doesn't necessarily always have to happen, so it can be more of a difficult match to do. So let's see what we can actually do with this match. As you can see, they don't have the early defense that the Boa has, because Boa is only getting the defense to their units when she's under 50%. That can be actually quite good for us, because if she's low on HP, even if their units have a lot of defense, our fixed damage can actually kill them, and it's a little bit easier for us to get those units low on HP, because the Boa is not boosting their defense yet. So that is actually something quite cool. As you can see, probably if the Boa activates, she will actually target my Shirahoshi, because she's the lowest HP unit that I have right now, and my Shirahoshi doesn't activate, but she will actually get targeted, as you can see. So next time that she activates, if she gets to activate, she will actually full heal my units. So that's why I really like it, but maybe she will actually die before activating. We're gonna have to see. Well, if she dies, we're gonna get a full PvP Whitebeard, but I don't think she's gonna be dying. No, she's gonna actually be activating. So that's what I meant by that can actually be really good, because you're gonna see the full heal now, and it's amazing. Look, 5.5k HP and defense up level 5. That's actually a lot, and they have no way actually to heal. So as I was saying, as the Boa got low on HP, we can actually finish her with fixed damage. So actually that's quite good. Let's see what else. We were gonna get the Rebecca to Solier and the NL, and let's see if we can finish some other unit. Yeah, actually. So this was against an 8-man team, so it's a little bit more scary. Even the late game can be really scary in these kind of teams, because I have had some match where things were looking so good, like right now they are looking really good for us, but then those last 30 seconds just destroy you, and if you get bad RNG in these last 30 seconds, like, it doesn't really matter what happened before, you can still get the loss. So I wouldn't really be screaming for victory before it's too early, because that enemy PvP Whitebeard or that enemy Soul Mask can actually be really scary. As you can see here, pretty bad RNG with that, because the Soul Mask actually activated at the right exact moment where the defense down level 6 from the timer was actually getting activated. So fortunately enough, we will get our PvP Whitebeard to activate. So let's see if we can deal some damage. Yeah, we can actually. We're gonna have to tank the special of PvP Whitebeard that targets all of our units, but okay, we managed to tank it pretty fairly, and that's gonna be basically it. So yeah, we finished the match with a special of NL, so that's really good. So now I'm gonna talk about some strategies that you could do to counter side teams without using a full-on side team. So maybe with some cheeky variation. I already talked about it a little bit in my previous video, But I have seen that sometimes it's very RNG, and yeah, a lot of the times you get the win, but most of the times, not most of the times, but sometimes you are not. So I don't know, like I wasn't really feeling it. I'm gonna be showing you some screenshots of the results of those matches and maybe some recording of a match. So yeah, so what you can basically do, let's see if I can find some team in which I was doing something like that. So if what you can basically do is do this and use a cones here and maybe do something like this, and then yeah, or you can use an 8-man team with 8 units in the bench. It doesn't really matter because you can actually use a soul mask. So do something like this and it actually works really nicely. But sometimes you can get bad RNG and you can still lose with that. So I don't know, I wouldn't really trust in that much. I will be doing one match with this and let's see how it goes, and we're gonna have to see against what variations do we go. But yeah, I'm probably gonna go up against the first one that I can see. And also one other thing that I wanted to mention is that Shirahoshi variation works amazingly well against these kind of quick hybrid teams. I'm not gonna be going up against one now, but it works really well. I'm gonna be doing a separate video on that, but if you wanna already be testing that, then feel free to do that. But I wanna be focusing on that hybrid team in particular because it has some different variations and it's a very interesting team. But yeah, so I have found that Germa 66 side team and it has a PvP Whitebeard on the bench. It could have, I think, 2 other PvP units, but it doesn't. But let's see how this Cones performs. So basically the idea of this team is massively debuffing all of their units with Cones, then some of their units with Law and some of their units with Enel. So you see that we are debuffing them by a large amount, and we don't really care if the Cones activates or not. It's actually nice if she doesn't activate, so we get a fully max Legend Kaido from the bench. But if she gets to activate, it's not the end of the world. We can actually action mine or special bind some of their units, so that can even help us. So yeah, as you can see, she doesn't get to activate, and we will get a fully max Kaido from the bench, which can be actually really amazing. Unfortunately, they do have a lot of defense, but their slasher units don't, so that's actually something that you might be looking and that could be actually really interesting. So we are gonna have to tank some fixed damage now with Roger and Law didn't activate, but with Roger, and unfortunately we will lose on the massive buffs of attack up on the Kaido just by barely 1 second, so he's not gonna be dealing as much damage as he normally would. But now we will get the rounds of fixed damage, and let's see if we are gonna be able to make that work. Okay, they got buffed by the defense, so I don't really know why. I think some of my defense down expired or something like this, but that's unfortunate. So they are really low on HP. It's interesting to see, but they have actually tanked all of my specials. So I do not really like how this is looking, but my Rebecca soldier will at least get to activate because it barely survived. Let's see. Okay, we killed Germa, which was the unit that was about to activate, so that's actually quite good. Their PP Whitebeard is not max, but mine is either. It's not either, but maybe their PP Whitebeard will even get to activate, which is gonna be really annoying if this happens. But RNG from our side. Let's see if this actually happens. No, it doesn't happen, but unfortunately my Enel dies, my Kaido dies. So as you can see, it can have some bad RNG. I will show you some screenshots in which this kinds of variation is actually working, but I don't know how much I would really recommend trying to do something like that. But yeah, now I will talk about how to beat the Shirahoshi variation. So you guys saw that this one was a very kind of a bad RNG match, but you guys saw that it can have bad RNG, it can have a little bit of bad RNG, and then you can lose. So yeah. So against the Shirahoshi variation, we're actually gonna, I have been trying a lot of different teams, and this is one of the variations that I have tried. It looks kind of weird, but basically the idea is that we get a massive defense down buff to all the enemy team by defense on level 4, and then also a lot of defense down with a special of Rebecca Soldier, and if he gets to activate the Roger, and then basically killing them with the specials of Kaido and Enel. with not fixed damage, so with damage, and also the fixed damage of Roger and Katakuri, if he gets to activate, are actually really helpful too. But mainly what we are focusing on with this team, yeah, it's a lot of defense down and damage, but the main unit that we're trying to get rid of is the enemy Shirahoshi. Once she's out, is actually gonna be much better thing to do. So also one thing to mention is that actually this team works better if there's a B3 law in the enemy team debuffing your Kaido, so because you want the Roger to hopefully activate first, so it's good that there's an enemy unit debuffing your Kaido, giving him the chance to activate after Roger, so that is actually a really good option. So as you can see, defense on level 4, they are missing on a lot of defense, and also it's helpful if there's a B3 law, because they do not have a Germa 66 or a B2 Kuzan, so that way they do not have a lot of defense, and it's easier for you to kill the Shirahoshi. As you can see, the Shirahoshi doesn't get to activate and the first attack, so this will mean that she will activate the second round. And some of the times if the Shirahoshi heals the enemy units, it's still okay. Like, look at the defense of Shirahoshi, it's actually quite low, and if we are lucky here, we might actually get the special of Roger before the Kaido, and if the Roger targets the Shirahoshi in terms of defense down, and it doesn't happen, unfortunately enough, then we might be okay. Yeah, we managed to kill the Shirahoshi, so I would say all the job is done now. We just have to finish the bench units, and that's gonna be about it. So that's why I wanted also to showcase some of these variations to show that there's no team that it's unbeatable. Like you have really strong teams, and among side teams, the Shirahoshi one is working really well, but you can still find some variations and stuff. Like, I want to say that this is not a guaranteed win. Like, it looked like a really clean win now, but I want to say that it's not a guaranteed win. You can still lose. I have still lost some matches using this team, but in general I have gotten the win. I will show you some screenshots and some recordings, also against different variations of our Shirahoshi team. And yeah, I have found that if there's a B3 law, it works better, but you can still counter different variations of the Shirahoshi side team. So that's gonna be it for the matches that we're gonna be doing live, and I think I'm gonna be commenting over one of the matches using the Konis. And well, actually I think I did 2 matches using the Konis there inside the side team, and that was working really nicely in my previous video. So if you want to go check out those kind of matches, go check out my last video here on top. But now I'm gonna be commenting on some screenshot results of some matches, and then I'm gonna be putting at the end some more clips so that you can see some more results of matches and actually seeing the whole match, not just the result. So yeah. So first I want to show here some other variations. I haven't mentioned it, but you can use Katakuri instead of Konis there, but you cannot use a Legend Kaido on the bench or a Legend B3 Zoro, so that might be something that it's a little bit not that enticing, but as you can see it works, it can work too. Here it is Katakuri with a side team beating the B3 Boa variation. Here there's another one, this time we're beating a B2 Kuzan variation, another B2 Kuzan variation. And here we start to see some Shirahoshi results. So Shirahoshi beating a Germa 66, and it was a fully max Germa 66 with 8 units on the bench and well, 8 units and everything. It was kind of close, but a lot of the times it's not as close, but yeah, sometimes you can even lose, so yeah. Here's another Shirahoshi beating this time a B2 Kuzan variation, not as close as the Germa 66 one. A Katakuri inside the site and beating a Shirahoshi actually, so that's something else that you could do. Instead of running that Kaido, maybe you can run still that B3 law, and it can still work sometimes, but it's not as guaranteed. It's still RNG. With the Shirahoshi just in a team includes so much RNG that you want to be lowering those chances. You can still get the win or lose, but it's better if you can kind of increase your chances of winning. So yeah. Here we can see actually a Konis variation. Well, actually I was trying to use the Shirahoshi on the bench and it worked quite nice against Germa 66, so that might be something that you can do, but I was just trying different stuff. Here actually you can see a kind of a mirror match, but I was using Konis, so both of us were using a Shirahoshi, and then I was using Konis and with Frizor on the bench instead of Kaido. So that might be something that you wanna still do. Like if they use a Shirahoshi, you use a Shirahoshi too, but you have to be very careful with not timing them out. If there's both a Shirahoshi on some teams and you don't have enough damage, because fixed damage Shirahoshi can actually heal from that, so it can be kind of scary if you are not managing to kill any of their units and they still have a full bench at second 20. So that's something that you have to keep an eye out for, so that's why I didn't include in this video using your own Shirahoshi against Shirahoshi, but it can work really well, so definitely keep an eye out for that. As you can see here, another Shirahoshi versus Shirahoshi. It can be kind of close, but in this case, as you can see, it was a straight up win, so wasn't even close. So sometimes it can happen that too. A Shirahoshi versus a B3 Boa, actually. Another B3 Boa. A Rayleigh variation, this time with a Kaido on the bench. Another Shirahoshi versus Shirahoshi. A B3 Boa getting destroyed basically by the Shirahoshi variation. A Germa 66, well, being beaten actually by the Boa variation. So that is not a Shirahoshi variation, so but you can actually try other variations. Then another B3 Boa getting beaten by the Shirahoshi. And there we have one last screenshot of that last team that I showed, like the Kaido and Katakuri beating a Shirahoshi variation. And now we will see some after doing the outro, we will see actually some results of matches in terms of clips, so I will be putting that in fast mode, so definitely keep an eye out for that. So yeah, so that is gonna be everything for today's, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how do different variations of Saitens perform against each other, because Saiten is a very versatile team, so it has a lot of options. So it's really interesting to see how they perform against each other. For example, before pulling the animal and everything and testing Saitens, I wasn't really glad. Yeah, I already had my Shirahoshi max, but it wasn't my first option to go to. I was trying other variations with Tukuza, with the hybrid team, with also I was trying with some rare recruit, Viola, Crocus, not available because I haven't even invested in, but another good deal option. So I was trying different stuff like that, and then suddenly I said like, okay, I'm gonna try the Shirahoshi on the main team, and it actually worked amazingly well. So that's really interesting to see, to be able to see how some teams perform against each other. But that's gonna be everything for today. So as always, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.